We've got a wild new rumor claiming to reveal plot details about the upcoming Ray film starring Daisy Ridley and being directed by Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy. Maybe the big thrust of this rumor is that Daisy Ridley's Ray is killed. Before we get into this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at the Trent Report. Let's get into this now. This is the headline. New Star Wars rumor claims Daisy Ridley's Rey is killed in Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy's new Jedi Order film. This rumor comes from Scooper Overlord DVD on YouTube and his spy network. This is what he said. He said, according to this source, the Rey movie is still based on a rejected script that had been written countless times, at least 6 times now. It's basically Rey restarting the Jedi Order, and she's either pregnant with Ben's kid or has had Ben's kid and he's evil. Well, it turns out there's a new rewrite of this script, and it goes something like this. Rey starts the new Jedi Academy to train her twins, a girl and a boy. As they grow, the boy turns to the dark side and kills Rey, and the movie focuses on the sister believing she can turn her brother back to the light. So that is what Overlord DVD says is happening, or is happening as at least in one script of the new Jedi Order film from Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy featuring Daisy Ridley. Interestingly, this does follow up a rumor from Scooper WDW Pro, who shared similar information previously, and he said he had heard 2 iterations of the Rey script. He said there are 2 iterations of the Rey script that I am aware of that I can talk about according to rumor, and those iterations of the script that I have been told existed. Folks, I haven't seen the script. I don't have any hard proof of this, but again, when it comes from someone who helped us tell you that the Rey movie was coming, I take it pretty seriously. And to his point, he scooped the Rey movie before they announced it at Star Wars Celebration. He then relayed, so there are 2 iterations of the Rey script that I'm aware of that I can talk about according to rumor. And those are apparently early on in development. The idea that was that Rey would be pregnant with a child and that off screen she would have become pregnant somehow through the Force ghost of Kylo Ren in a way that would have been explained but not presented on screen. They cannot have Rey be pregnant with any other person than Kylo Ren, and that was to placate the Reylo fans out there. And then the story was going to push forward to when her child was about 9 years old, a daughter, and that daughter was going to be training in the new Jedi Temple with Rey and with the other Padawans. That this 9-year-old daughter was going to combine the light and the dark and form a new type of Jedi. And then they were going to face off against, is it Darth Plagueis? Well, apparently he was going to be back. And so that was the first iteration of the script. So both of these rumors are saying that Rey is pregnant and seemingly gets pregnant via Kylo Ren or Ben Solo. Obviously, they have differences as far as like what happens after that with the twins and the son killing Rey, and then the daughter trying to bring the son back to the light, etc., etc. He then, but Pro revealed that this version of the script that he was talking about was discarded. He says, so that was discarded. They did not feel that would quell the complaints about Rey being a Palpatine, and they didn't want to fool with that. There were also concerns that Daisy Ridley's character was a side character and that her daughter would be the lead, and that was going to be an issue. The script didn't really have a lot of oversight from Disney executives beyond Lucasfilm. So Pro is saying they discarded this rumor about her becoming pregnant and the movie focusing on her daughter training in the temple. He did share the second script as well that he had heard. He says that one, where Disney became involved, that involved Rey and Finn fighting against a new villain who was a combination of a Night Sister and a Sith. So a Sith who had learned to take on the powers of the Night Sisters and combined the Force with the magic of the witches, and that Rey and Finn would be combined together to take on that foe. I'm also told that Grogu would make a cameo in both of these, but that Grogu had been scaled back dramatically due to needing to save him for the Mandalorian movie and because of the change in production and releases related to the strikes that were going on. So that is what he had to say about the second script. This is what we officially know from Lucasfilm. A press release said that the movie is quote, set 15 years after the last events of the Skywalker saga. Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy will tell the story of rebuilding the Jedi Order and the powers that rise to tear it down. The director then delighted fans by welcoming Daisy Ridley to stage, confirming she will be reprising her as Rey in the upcoming movie. Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy would later inform IGN, we're 15 years out from Rise of Skywalker, so we're kind of post-war, post-First Order, and the Jedi are in disarray, and there's a lot of discussion around who are the Jedi, what are they doing, what's the state of the galaxy, and she's attempting to rebuild the Jedi Order based on the books, based on what she promised Luke. So that's where we're going. And then she would later inform Entertainment Weekly's Dagobah Dispatch, saying, "We've been talking a lot about going well into the past, and one of the things that's really knitting this all together, obviously, are the Jedi. What happened with the Jedi over time, much like history? How did the Jedi evolve? They were wiped out with Order 66, then they gradually have been coming back. The question that we're going to ask with New Jedi Order and with Rey is, does the galaxy need them anymore? Do they want them back?" So there's a lot of food for thought in what we're doing, whether it's in the past, present, or future. Utterly ridiculous and stupid premise. Of course, the galaxy needs the Jedi. It's the dumbest premise for a film. But it's Lucasfilm. What do you expect? Uh, Kennedy also told Games Radar, "I think what's always great about Star Wars is it's a big galaxy, and we're coming off what was a major war with the First Order. And now Rey has made a promise to Luke, and that's really the core of where we're going and what the story will be. And I think it offers just tremendous opportunity to introduce new characters and start with something fresh because we culminated with what George was creating. And now we take all of that and move it to the next chapter. So obviously, you're going to have brand new characters outside of Rey, probably no one that was featured in the original trilogy or in the prequels, is what it sounds like. These themes are supposed to tie into the announced James Mangold film. That was like a Origin of the Force film that they announced at Star Wars Celebration. Kennedy said, "It was something that Jim Mangold immediately sparked to, and I think it's a really nice compliment to what we're doing with moving into the future with Rey, and then understanding a bit more of where this all came from, because it will be at the heart of creating the new Jedi Order, so to get a real sense of where that might have began with the dawn of the Jedi could be pretty cool." No, because you're clearly going to make it feminist, and it's going to be forced as female, and you're going to try and bring that actually into existence with the Force originating from being female from the very beginning, or some such nonsense. Absolutely disastrous idea. And then we had this leaked synopsis from issue 1335 of Production Weekly, which is like a Hollywood trade publication. It said, set roughly 15 years after Rey's victory over Palpatine at the end of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, the sequel delves into Rey's courageous endeavor to restore the Jedi Order, where she assumes the role of a mentor to two promising young students, a girl and a boy. As her training progresses, it becomes evident that the girl possesses extraordinary abilities, destined to emerge as the future leader. So that does seem to indicate there might be something to Overlord DVD's rumor, as well as what we heard from WDW Pro. Who really knows what's going on? Obviously, this stuff can all change. It does look like things are indeed changing, because we had the Mandalorian and Grogu film that just came out of the blue, and they look like they announced it with a bunch of AI art that was cobbled together at the last minute. Clearly not done by any like Lucasfilm concept artists, especially not the people that were working on the Mandalorian shows. I think that was probably the best part of the shows, was seeing the concept art at the end of the episodes, the post credits, because the concept art promised something really good, and you never really got the delivery in the actual episodes. The concept art was promising us something much better than what we actually got. It was never very executed very well at all, for the most part, in throughout all 3 seasons of The Mandalorian. So I would assume things are indeed changing here with the Rey film. We do know that this film has already had development problems. We saw Damon Lindelof get removed from the project. He admitted he was removed by Lucasfilm. He was seemingly working on this film beforehand for at least probably a year, and then he was removed, and then they brought in Stephen Knight, and now there's rumors about whether or not he's having problems with it, whether or not he's put together a script. Some say he hasn't put together a script. Some say he has put together a script. Lucasfilm pretty much didn't like it, sent him back a bunch of notes. Geez, can I speak? And he was basically starting from scratch. Others say he's still like working on it and figuring things out, and it's very collaborative, and they're just working through it all. But it definitely feels like there's lots of problems going on here over at Lucasfilm and the Walt Disney Company. And I mean, one of those big problems is probably Nelson Peltz, who is really coming after the company and has pointed out how their creative abilities have completely stagnated over there across all of their studios. He was just on a CNBC interview saying how the last 5 of their films that they came out with were absolute losers, and and that's why they need someone maybe who doesn't have a media experience, because all the people that do have media experience over there are just pumping out garbage that no one is really interested in, and are losing the company money. So who knows what's going on here? I think a lot of this stuff is probably in flux. A lot of it's probably been rushed together. That's why it sounds absolutely trash. I think that even chasing this movie is an absolutely terrible idea. They shouldn't even be doing this. If they want to do something with Star Wars, they need to just get away from all of their Disney sequel trilogy stuff. They need to get away from all of it. Nothing needs to lead into it. Nothing needs to be tied into it. They need to just do what Dark Horse did in the early 2000s, do Legacy, jump 300 years into the future. Obviously, that did have Luke Skywalker appearing as a Force ghost to his descendant, Cade Skywalker. And I think that's something that you could do because you really need to get away from the sequel trilogy. It is poison to the Star Wars franchise, to the Star Wars brand. I think that's been abundantly clear. Anyone who recognizes the reality of the situation sees that. And if they're not, they're lying to themselves most likely and trying to spread that lie to other people. But yeah, I think they just need to do kind of like a Star Wars Legacy, go to the distant future where you're not really tied into anything that they've come out with recently, or you got to go into the past, tell some old Republic stories or something like that, and do things like that. So we'll see. I mean, I know they tried to do that with the High Republic stuff, but that was an absolutely terrible idea because it's just injected with all of the wokeism that Lucasfilm is known for now. But let me know what you guys make of this wild rumor and what Lucasfilm and Star Wars have planned. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, but to always speak the truth.